look at how we invoice our customers. So again, if we go to the plus sign here, under the customers, there's a few options, as you can see. But the main one at the moment we're looking at is going to be invoice. So if you send invoices to your customers to be paid, this is where we're going to be doing it from. So again, we can either select a customer or start typing it. I'm just going to select one for now. I'm going to select Adwin Co. Okay, so we've got the terms here. Again, you can keep different types of terms for different customers. We have our invoice date. I'm going to keep it what it's got here. This is a auto-generated number. So I will show you in a minute. But in the setup, we were going through if we wanted to have our own numbers, and we can put that there. Again, also you can have a reference. So for example, if they're going to need some more details other than what's here, you can have a reference for the invoice. Maybe a purchase order, it could be handy if they've given you a purchase order. So here we can have our products and services. So this company does catering and entertainment, and they also sell some items. So here we've got some catering, and they haven't got a rate for that because that is adjustable. So I'm going to say that, for example, it was £1,000 for this catering plus VAT. So I've got that exclusive of VAT there. And they also sold some items. So, for example, here they can have the guest book. And they had 5 guest books. And they also had, let's have a look, what else did they have? They had some name badges. And they had 100 of the name badges. Okay, so that's added that all up here. It's got the VAT on it and the total. If they pay you a deposit, you can click that there. Here, I've got the message to put on the invoice of kind of what where you want the payment sent to. You can have that set up, and any messages you want on the statement. So let's have a look to see what this will actually look like. Again, this is something that you can set up, and we'll show you all these set up separately. If we click on print or preview, it says it saved it up here. And then what it will do is give us a preview of the invoice of what it will look like on their screen. That's if you send it electronically, but obviously if it's printed out, it'll look pretty similar just on paper. You're going to have to bear with me. I do apologise. It's running a little bit slowly at the moment. Okay, so you've got your company details up here, who you're invoicing it to, the invoice details, general details there. You've got what it is, the amount, VAT rate, and we've got our subtotal, our VAT total, our total, and what the balance is there. So if they paid a deposit, that would come off. And that's fine. So we can either print it or close that down. If you were going to be sending it by email, you would click Save and Send. They would get an email. This is, again, customizable. Invoice number 1014, for example, from company name. Dear company name, here is your invoice. We appreciate your prompt payment. All customizable. And they get this little email, and it says Review and Pay. And then you can say send and close. I'm not going to do that because it's just a dummy email address. So I don't want to do that. I'm just going to say save and close, for example. And that brings us back to the dashboard. Now, when your customers do pay, if you're putting the payments in manually, you can do plus and receive payment. So let's say I know that Adwin Co have now sent out some money. Got some money in. So the payment date, I'm going to say receive that payment on the 11th. You can put, you don't have to, but you can choose how they paid. And you can put, if they pay by bank transfer, you can set up a new option. It just says bank transfer. Okay, so the reference number is deposit to. So I'm going to do 2 payments here. So for the first one, I'm going to say it's just a bank transfer to the current account. and that's going to go off their old invoice. They paid that in full. That was a bit late, but they paid it off. And then I'm just going to click Save and New. And then we also got a check-in a day later in my little imaginary scenario on the 12th. And I'm going to put a check number in. Right, where does deposit to here? I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to add an account here. Actually, it's not on this bit, is it? Sorry. Pre-created account called in deposited funds. So we do this. The current assets and undeposited funds. Here we go. So this is for checks, for example. So I'm going to press Save and Close. Okay. So the amount received here, they paid £500 of this one. I'm going to do this. So I can show you what this undeposited funds actually does. I'm going to just do Save and New. Okay, and I'm going to hope that one of these has also got a balance on it. Kathy's Consulting, perhaps. No. There's Cleaners, no. I should have checked this, shouldn't I, really? Okay, let's just come out of that for a minute. I'll show you something helpful. So if you want to see who owes you money, you can click on Reports. This is a bit of a sneak preview because we're not supposed to go into reports till the end of the end of the course. But you can go down and it says who owes you, and you can do Open Invoices. So let's just have a look at the Open Invoices, so I can work out who else owes this company. Okay, so I'm going to say Benjamin Young. He owes £960. I'm going to do that. So plus and receive payment. And so Benjamin paid, and he paid a check on the 10th. And his check number was that. Again, I'm going to deposit to undeposited funds. So he paid £300 of his bill. And then I'm just going to do Save and Close. Now, just say I know that I've gone into the bank on Saturday, the 13th, and I've actually deposited those two checks into the account. I'm going to go plus here and click Bank Deposit. Okay, so it's the current account that deposited into. I've gone into the bank on the 13th, which is a Saturday, and I know I've deposited both of these two checks. So I click on both of those. And if there was any other cash, I could put it here. So, for example, I also received some money from, I don't know, I'm just going to leave that one actually. Didn't receive any other money. And then we can just go Save and Close. And that's that £800 has gone from the undeposited funds, if we just put it into the bank account. Now, we can also use the undeposited funds if you take card payments or if you take checks in your business quite regularly, or we can use a particular, we can make a separate account for that. So, for example, if you are a shop and you take card payments and it's not something that will integrate with QuickBooks, you can set up a separate, you can either use the undeposited funds account, alternatively, you can use and I probably recommend you use a separate bank account. So, for example, I'm going to show you, say that you do a shop and you're using a system, a card system that's not going to integrate into QuickBooks. So on a daily basis, if you go to the plus sign, and instead of doing an invoice, if you do a sales receipt, you can either do this individually per customer, if you need to send them a receipt, or you can do this at the end of the day, particularly if you're in a shop, and you're doing till receipts as you go, you can do this at the end of the day. So I'm going to set up a customer just for this one that says daily takings. And I'm going to do that for, let's just start with Monday. Okay, so I'm not going to put payment method at the moment. Actually, yeah, I am. These are all going to be card. Okay, and I'm going to set a deposit to account. Called cash at bank and hand, and I'm going to call this card terminal. And I just click save and close there. So then you can click kind of what you've sold that particular day. So I've sold some pens. I've sold some pads. So 20 of those today. I've sold. What else have I sold? Sold some water bottles. I've sold 10 of those today, for example. All that's up there. And this £528 will go and sit in this card terminal account. And that means that when you actually see it on your bank statement, you can do a transfer, and we'll be going over a transfer separately into the bank account. I'm just going to click save and close there. Okay, that's done that. Now the last thing I want to do on the customer side is go over how you actually do a credit note to a customer and also how you do a statement. So let's do a credit note first. So you do plus and you do credit note, very similar to the purchase one, but just for the customer. Now I know that Crombie International has got a balance on there. So I probably won't use those because they're in dollars. Let's go with Adwin because they've still got a balance on their account. I'm going to do a credit for one of the items that they had, say 5 of their name badges. No, it's not much money. It's only £15 plus VAT, but that's what we're going to do. And again, you can save and send or save and close. I'm just going to save and close this. And when they go to pay it, I'll show you what will happen when they go to pay it. I'm actually not going to pay it, so I can show you a statement, but you to receive payment, go to their name as normal. Now, if you notice, as soon as I click, it's not done it for some reason. Okay, that's a bit strange. Let's just come out of that. It normally comes up with their credit note. Let's just have a look, see if it's come up on their report. Let's just have a look. See, these are the things that actually happen when you're out in real business doing these things. So it's always good to see the problems here. So it's not come up. Let's just try again then. So plus, and we'll do the credit note. I'm not sure what's happened with that one. So let's just do this again. So name badges, had 5 of them. Save and close. Right, hopefully that's definitely says it's saved now. So let's just, I hope that works. And it's still not showing on here. Not sure why that is. I'll come back to this. I'm sorry. There will be an extra module on this one. I'm doing these as I go. Okay, so let's just have a look at statements. So if you go up to here, and you can see under other, one of the options is statement. Okay, it tells you've got the missing email addresses, which is fine. I literally just want to see what they look like on here to show you. So I'm just going to click so different types. So balance forward, open item, or transaction statement. Now, each person has their own particular view, but I would always recommend open item. And that's just because that's the easiest for them to see what they owe you and why they owe you that money. So I'm going to click on that, click on apply, and I'm just going to click on print and preview so you can see what a statement would look like from them. It's just coming up with things telling you what it does. Right, so for a Crombie, it's in dollars, it's got the dollar amount here. And this is the one we were doing to Admin Co. Without the credit note for some weird reason. It's got the amount here, and obviously it tells you the aging here. So if they're 90 plus due days, they're going to know they're being a naughty boy and need to pay up. And we've just got the other ones here. So Benjamin Young, Jordan Burgess. That's all the statements for our customers. We can just click, either print them, or we can just click out, or you can send them by email, which I'm not going to do at the moment. I'm just going to click out of there. Okay, so that's it for the South now. We'll do a separate little small module on their credit notes separately when I can get that sorted.